we're back in the yard. So we got this mini split here. It was installed in 2015, quit working, called another company. They said, oh yeah, there's a leak. They did something, I don't know what. You can see that the coil is a little beat up. But basically they couldn't fix it, so they said you need a new unit. So now we're here to try to fix it. The coil is pretty eaten up, so let's go ahead and look at this thing, see what's going on. So here we go. Alright, so long story short, unit's flat. We're gonna do a pressure test. I suspect that the leak is there. There's no pan heater. And you can see the coil's all beat up because that means the ice was building up here and poking at it, so probably has a leak there. So we're probably gonna have to change the coil on this one. Not the entire unit, just the coil. And then we'll probably install a pan heater. Yeah, it looks pretty haggard over there. All right, well, we got a leak somewhere in here. Let's see if we can actually pinpoint it. See if it's repairable. So yeah, he was told this is not repairable. Is it on the outer coil? Yeah, I can't pinpoint it, but it's somewhere down here somewhere. So I'm gonna recommend we just change the entire coil. That's a better option because then you don't have to worry about it, leaking again. And it's 2015, it's a Mitsubishi. So, what is that, 10 years? So it's probably out of warranty, we'll see. If we're lucky, it'll be under warranty and we can get this thing taken care of. But yeah, come on guys. Just because it's a mini split doesn't mean you can't change refrigeration components. Just gonna check our flares here. Yeah, those look good. I'll go check the other flares. I don't see any bubbles there, so I think we're good on the flares. We'll do another pressure test once we get the coil fixed. All right, so we're back on this one. It looks like that guy did try to fix it, but he kind of messed it up. And then we had another leak over here somewhere. I can't see it though. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get our new coil in there. So I just cut it all. Need to sweat this part right here out, and then this little U right here. So we're gonna get this all protected and then sweat all that out. Okay, well, we got the new coil in there. It's under pressure. We're gonna be installing a pan heater that'll prevent the new coil from getting damaged from the ice like the last one did. And so far so good. So we will return to finish this. It did hold pressure. We lost a little bit, but I think that was from when I took off the hoses and when I hooked up the hoses. Started at 360, ended at 315. Redoing the flares, I don't know if you can tell, but they're not very good. I'm gonna redo all the flares and then we'll change the Schrader core. I just don't want it to leak again after I do all this, so I'm gonna cut these flares off, redo them, and then I'll do the other ones too. All right, so we got her all reflared. It's hand tight now. We're gonna go ahead and torque it, so we're gonna find the installation manual and get the torque specs. All right, so we have our Nighthawk torque wrench. So the quarter is gonna be 15, and then I've set that on my program 1, and then 36 will be my 3/8, which I've set on program 2. So this is nice because then I can just, I don't have to remember it. And you can do up to 9 different programs on this. Okay. So very important, you set your temperature, or you set your torque range. Make sure you have it set to Newton meter, foot pound, or foot inches. Don't mess that up. I've done that before. Not cool. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start with our quarter. So that's 16 Newton meters. When I took these off, they were cranked all the way down. All right, so we're gonna do 36 Newton meters for our 3/8. That's why the flares were so warped, because they over cranked it. Let's go find the other ones and get those reflared. Look at that. Terrible. Whenever I'm doing a repair like this, with leaks, I always redo the flares because you can never trust anyone's flares except your own. I will be deburring this, but I don't want the burrs to fall in, so I'll be flowing nitro through this when I'm ready to deburr this stuff, and then any flakes will just shoot out of it. Oh man, this one's terrible too. It's crooked. Look at that. I don't know if that shows up, but this side's shorter than that side. It wasn't deburred. We live in a world of YouTube. Why can't you just watch a video if you don't know how to do it? All right, so we got these flares all cut off. We're gonna go ahead and throw some nitro in here. That way it'll blow out all the, I'm gonna deburr these, but that way it'll blow out all of our flakes. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and flare this quarter now. That's what the flare should look like. See how it's round and it's not like all jagged. So we're gonna put a little bit of nylog right here, and we'll put a little bit of nylog right there, and then we'll torque it to spec. This is our pan heater, so we'll go ahead and get this thing installed. Looks like this one's gonna be super easy. It's got a plug. Okay, so what we have to do is we gotta slide this underneath the coil. So we gotta pull this fan motor out of the way, and then pick up the coil, slide it under, and then tape it with aluminum tape, which is this stuff. I don't know how well that's gonna stay considering this is dirty. Usually you're supposed to install these when these are brand new, so yeah. We got it slid under there. We wanna use this heater some support. That just kind of holds things in place. And then we're gonna put 2 self-tapping screws right into there. Now we need to run the wires back there, but and then it runs along through here. And then there's a plug, a blue plug back in there. I don't know if you can see it. The number for it is CN722. It's basically, it's on the other side of this board, but like right about here. All right, so that's where we're plugging it in. So that's really nice. The Daikin ones aren't as easy to hook up. So anyway, we'll go ahead and we gotta run these wires and we'll put the motor back, and then we can start reassembling our unit, and then we'll start our pressure test. We got her under pressure. We're gonna go ahead and start our timer. It's at 3:39. So we'll be back once we get this unit back together. All right, we got the unit all put back together, wired up. We are still at 2:30 or 3:39, I'm sorry. And it's been about 44 minutes. Awesome. We're gonna go ahead and start our vacuum. All right, we got our evacuation going. So we're almost under 1,000. We're at 1,070 right now, and it's steadily making its way. So anyway, we'll be back once we're under 500. All right, so we're at 198, so we're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and charge 2 pounds, 9 ounces of 410A. All right, we're charging 2 pounds, 9 ounces, so we're at 1 pound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ounces. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna put a new Schrader core in there and get this stuff all taken apart and put away. All righty, we got her all sealed up, so we're gonna go ahead and give her power. You heard it click. Yep, that's the EEV setting itself up. So we'll let this thing chill for a minute. I'm gonna put my stuff away, and then we'll go inside and turn it on. All righty then. She is at 49 on her supply, and 78, 48, 78, so it's about 30 degrees. That's pretty good. Not bad. All right, so she's blowing cold. So that's pretty much how you diagnose a leaking outdoor coil on a Mitsubishi unit. This is a MUZ FH12NA. So yeah, you can repair it like that last guy did. He tried to repair it in place, but that's really rough. If you're gonna try to braze the coil like that, you gotta take the whole coil out or be able to get under it. But anyway, hopefully this helps you out. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you like the tools I use, support the channel by picking them up through my tool store or getting some work socks from Camel City Mill. Thanks for watching.